The marketplace on Rellith Prime was alive with noise and color, vendors shouting in dozens of languages as hover carts buzzed through narrow aisles. Kilira walked carefully, her daughter's small hand clasped in her own. Her scaled skin glistened faintly beneath her hood, spines folded close against her back. It had been months since she'd fled the Zyrrani homeworld after the wars, months of scraping by with little more than her cooking skills and determination to keep her daughter alive. Elira, barely 8 cycles old, skipped at her side, clutching her most precious possession, a tiny mechanical bird, battered but beloved. The toy had been scavenged from a junk stall weeks ago, and though it was half broken, its tinny chirps brought her joy. "Mama, look. It still sings." Elira pressed the bird's wing, and it emitted a warped trill before sputtering. She giggled anyway. Kilira smiled faintly. "Careful, little flame. It is fragile." But as fate would have it, her warning came too late. A careless shove from a passing dockhand knocked Elira against her, and the toy slipped from her daughter's claws. It struck the cobblestones with a sickening crack. The bird's wings snapped clean off. Its light flickered once, then died. Elira gasped, then wailed, her small body trembling with grief.
"No."
"Mama, no." Kilira bent quickly, scooping up the toy. She turned it over in her claws, trying desperately to fit the broken piece back, but the delicate gears inside were mangled. Her throat tightened as tears welled in her eyes. She had so little to give her daughter, and now she had broken even that. "I'm sorry," she whispered, clutching Elira close. "I'm so sorry, my flame." It was then a voice spoke behind them. "Mind if I take a look at that?" Kilira spun, defensive. A human stood there, tall and broad-shouldered, his hands smudged with grease, a toolkit strapped across his chest. His brown eyes were steady, his smile warm. Kilira bared her fangs instinctively. "It is nothing. Leave us." The man raised his palms. "No harm meant. I'm a mechanic. Fixing broken things is what I do. Maybe I can help." Elira sniffled, her tear-streaked face turning up toward him. "You can fix it?" The human crouched, his expression softening. "I can try, little one."
Kilira hesitated. Trust was a dangerous thing.
Humans were unpredictable, reckless, untested among the stars. But her daughter's hopeful eyes pierced her heart. Slowly, she placed the broken toy in his hands. The man examined it with careful fingers, not mocking its worth. Old Terran design, cheap knockoff. Wing hinge is cracked, wiring fried." But he dug into his toolkit and pulled out a solder wand. "Nothing a steady hand can't fix." Kilira blinked. "You would spend your time on this worthless thing?" "Not worthless," he said firmly, glancing at Elira. "It matters to her. That makes it worth everything." Her breath caught. No one had spoken like that in years. They moved to a quieter corner of the market, where the human spread out tools on a crate. With surprising delicacy, he worked, replacing wires, straightening gears, patching the cracked wing with a strip of alloy. Elira watched, wide-eyed, her sobs fading into sniffles. Kilira knelt nearby, torn between suspicion and awe. His hands were calloused, scarred, yet every movement carried patience. At last, he pressed the bird's wing. It chirped, clear, bright, alive again. Elira squealed, clapping her claws. She hugged the toy tight, spinning around in delight. "Mama, it sings again." Kilira's vision blurred with tears she could no longer hold back. "You," her voice trembled. "You did this for us." "Why?" The human packed his tools, shrugging. "Because I could. My name's Daniel, by the way. Daniel Hale." Elira darted forward and hugged his leg. "Thank you, Daniel." Kilira stared, her pride and gratitude warring within. Finally, she whispered, "I am Kilira. This is my daughter, Elira. We owe you." Daniel shook his head. "You don't owe me anything. But if you ever need something fixed, you know where to find me." The days that followed changed everything. Daniel's repair stall became a second home. Whenever the Iron Song, his patched cargo ship, was docked, he welcomed Kilira and Elira with easy smiles. He fixed not only their toy, but small things she brought from the market, pans, utensils, even a cracked heater that had left their shelter freezing at night. In return, Kilira began to cook for him. At first, just as thanks. But soon, the galley filled with the aroma of Zyrrani spices, stews and breads that reminded her of home. Daniel ate with gusto, praising every dish. "You could run a whole kitchen with this," he said once, savoring a spiced broth. Kilira flushed. "It is only food." "No," he replied, meeting her eyes. "It's comfort. It's life." Her chest tightened. She had forgotten how it felt to be seen. One evening, trouble came. A pair of thugs cornered Kilira in the marketplace, eyeing her wings and spines. "Zyrrani, huh? Bet the black markets pay plenty for pieces like you." She clutched Elira behind her, heart pounding. She had no weapon, no strength to fight. Then Daniel was there. "Step away." His voice was steel. The thugs sneered. "And if we don't?" Daniel's hand moved fast, wrench in his grip. One thug yelped as it cracked across his wrist. The other lunged, but Daniel shoved him back with surprising force. "You touch them again," he growled, "and I'll make sure you regret it." The thugs cursed but retreated, muttering. Kilira's knees trembled. She turned to Daniel, words failing. "You don't have to thank me," he said quietly. "No one should live in fear." Her tears fell freely. Not since her husband had anyone fought for her. Weeks turned into months. Daniel taught Elira how to tinker with small gadgets, letting her hands explore the mechanics of gears and wires. He showed Kilira how to maintain heating coils and patch torn fabric. In turn, she shared her recipes, her stories of Zyrrani traditions. Laughter returned to their lives, something Kilira thought lost forever. One night, as stars blazed beyond the viewport of the Iron Song, Daniel spoke softly. "I'm leaving Rellith soon, heading to the frontier colonies. They need mechanics out there. They need cooks, too." He looked at her, hesitant. "You don't have to stay here. You could come with me." Kilira froze. Her old pride whispered to refuse, to cling to independence. But when she looked at Elira, smiling, whole, holding the bird Daniel had fixed, her answer became clear. "Yes," she said, voice trembling. "We will come." Years later, frontier colonists would tell the story of a human mechanic and a Zyrrani cook who arrived together with a laughing child. Together, they built not just machines and meals, but a community. Kilira never forgot that day in the marketplace, when her daughter's toy lay shattered in her hands, and she had wept in despair. She also never forgot the man who stepped forward, tools in hand, and chose kindness when no one else would. In the end, it was not just the toy that Daniel Hale had mended. It was their lives.